Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, it's me, Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. We're still here, we're still going. Let's just jump straight away over here and have a look at where we are stats-wise with NaNoWriMo. Oh, there we go. Here's our... Oh, is that right? Can't see it there. Hold on. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. There's our line. The lovely line. We haven't done any words today and we're still sitting slightly above where we need to be. So, hopefully... Well, the aim today is to finally finish chapter 3. That would be lovely. There's not too much left to go. It's just, getting there. And once I do get there, I may just finish for the night if nobody minds. I did manage to get a little bit of a nap this afternoon. I was out for most of the day with the small one. It was pretty tiring. And she had some trouble getting to sleep tonight, more than she's had probably since I started streaming. So I was a little concerned that we might not make it in time, that we might be late for the first time, but everything worked out. Oh goodness me, one reason possibly why we were both so exhausted and a little bit off maybe, it's a lot warmer here than we're used to. I suppose we're headed towards summer here. We're just, where we are, we're used to, life and climate existing on a pleasantly cool to severely icy scale. And we've gotten used to that. That's not the climate where I grew up, but we've gotten used to it. And it's just a little bit of a surprise for everything to be suddenly so warm. But yes. Oh dear. So, our word count at the moment is 14,859 words of 50,000, roughly 30% of the way through. So just under a third of the way there. And we are on track. We are above on track. I know I've said several times, even from the very beginning, that I'm trying not to take this too seriously. It's a little much to expect of myself to reach 50,000 words in this time with this story live. But we may get there. Seeing me sitting above the line, this makes me really want to stay above the line. And we are at this point still doing a double stream tomorrow, one in the morning and one in the evening at the normal time. So who knows, if we're into it, we might even get through chapter 4 in one day. Yay. And yeah, still ruminating a lot on chapter lengths and how to make it work. Wondering whether I should split chapters and go 2 chapters with Min, 2 chapters with Liot consistently. And it's possible to make it work. It's just I would need to give chapter 2 a lot more love and a lot more content without, having it seem superfluous, unnecessary. All of these words that I do not want applied to my stories. Oh dear. How is everyone today? I'm so sorry, I forgot to ask. It's most impolite of me. I hope you're going absolutely wonderfully. Oh dear, I hope you're getting enough sleep, enough rest. I hope you're getting all the things done that you want to get done. Oh, it's very frustrating when you're not able to do what you want to do. I know there's far worse things in life, but it's still frustrating. worst things in life, don't stop you feeling frustrated by your own troubles. It just makes them feel insignificant sometimes, which may make you feel even more frustrated. For various other reasons. Oh dear. We should probably just try to jump into it, or try not to ramble for too long to start with today. We'll see if we can get into it, get chapter 3 done, set ourselves up for a good writing day tomorrow. Do you like the title of this stream, by the way? I'm a fan. I like it. How Not to Be Rich, Successful and Famous. And of course this title only really, function the way I want it to if we do reach the end of chapter 3 and see Liot, on the screen for all the city, possibly all 5 cities to see. Very unhappy about it. He would much rather have heeded that advice on how not to be rich, successful, and famous. He did his best. This is the last thing he wanted. Poor little Liot. With any luck, we will reach his next chapter tomorrow. With any luck. Okay, let's bring Scrivener up. Where are you, Scrivener? I see you, but no one else does yet. There we are. Hello, Scrivener. And let us pop the rain on. And turn the background music down. There we go. Lovely, pleasant rain. Okay, so where we left off yesterday, we had just finished up with Min's tarot test. I still don't know whether I'm going to keep that name. I kind of like it, but we will just have to see how things work out later. And so, again, I do have reasonably detailed-ish notes for the rest here, but this is still getting them in order, getting down pretty much everything I want to happen. So, yes, I still worry occasionally that many will not accept my way of writing as counting towards nano words, but everyone writes differently. This is pretty much how I wrote most of my main magical project, this first book for it. Originally, slapdash, excited, happy notes, really getting into it, throwing down all of the detail I can. If I know what the dialogue is, I'll put down the dialogue exactly how I want it. And then spending the time to slowly pull it together later. I've explained myself several times. I guess it's just because I still, as I said, still feel a little uneasy about how others might view how I'm tackling Nano, and feel that I'm not, I don't know, competing in the spirit of Nano, or I'm just not doing it right, or maybe my words should only be worth half the amount or something. I'm not sure. I'm hoping most other Nano writers wouldn't mind. Oh dear. I mean, I may, if I reach a part which I'm quite happy with and I really want to try writing it properly, I will do that. Say writing properly, writing tidily, writing in readable sentences. I mean, writing is writing. I guess there's no proper about it. If it's getting done, that's good. However, it's getting done. Oh dear. Everyone has different styles. I should just accept that and stop worrying about it. But we all know I'm probably not going to do that. Alrighty. Let's keep going. So, we'll just see how she gets back to her seat. It's okay, these depressing thoughts won't last too long with Min. She's gotten fairly good at counteracting them. We'll do that before we go into the montage. It doesn't feel quite right to say down in the world, because their world is a lot smaller than the world still, isn't it? It's the canyon and the cities. And just, might TK that. I'll probably want to change that. These thoughts are going on over the montage of the rest of the tests. Possibly around here. So don't need to go into detail with that, we know what it's like. Possibly just through here include the last person being called, just to wrap it up. And if you have them so nervous at this point they do actually trip over. Actually hurt themselves. Move the throw test team forward to help. If you want assistant to start to hesitate, teacher go to them, so does Min. Clean up, nothing serious. Some kind of small injury from falling down. I don't know, maybe just banging knee and needs an ice pack. So we get to use this to see a little bit about the first aid they've got in the inner city. So we just what they'd have. I'll just put a simple ice pack and figure it out later. I mean, it seems in the inner city they'd still have a few things that, or quite a few things that are, not high tech but reasonably advanced. But, just not nearly as good as what they have in the upper city. Maybe at least indicate short life, so nice, cool pack. Hobble for test. Nothing remarkable, slightly increased. Nothing to shift them in city status. Okay, so let's finish these thoughts that Min's having throughout the rest of the tests. So straight into full-time work and have enough money for her own rent. And yes, it's probably only need a tiny room for herself. Some 28 grams. And yacht. Still has the library, borrow books and read, sleeping each night. Still has, Trouse to support. All of her good things that make her smile. Still has her plants. The last person being called and smiling again. And if she's smiling, things can't be all that bad, really. That's a really optimistic thought. Some people can still manage to smile with the world falling apart. They're super strong people. Maybe Min's one of them. Hopefully this won't take up too much space. I think it is important to show Min's personality, having her reactions to this, her initial absolutely, miserable response. I mean, I don't think she was ever devastated as such because she was expecting this. It's just still a lot for it to finally be true. Should probably put this in here. I hadn't had the note might change this up a little bit more in line with these notes over here, because I think, hitting an immediate oh no, but then working through it is good for men as well. Okay, probably in here somewhere. Don't think we needed to say that. Besides, she needs bouts, finance expertise to tackle this impeccable work. Okay, just probably going to do my best to do a full-on scene jump. I'm not very good at that. I normally like to write. If I finish the scene in the classroom, I normally like to write the whole way, getting them from the classroom to where they're working. But it does take time. It's what I prefer to do, and I'm happy to do it in some of my other projects, but I don't think it'll work well in this one. I think I have to be a bit more brutal with myself and make myself jump. Okay, direct scene jump to the workplace that afternoon. And I looked at my word count. No harm in and popping a bit of an early word count in. 15,265. 15,265. 15,265, was it? Yes. Update progress. Oh, at 406 words today. Oh dear. Oh dear. So sorry to do this so early, but I just think I need to jump out for just a moment. I will be right back, sorry. And we're back. Thank you so much for waiting for me. Sorry about that. Okay, so I haven't thought much about this work scene. I don't really want it to last for more than, 2 or 3 paragraphs at the absolute most. Just to sort of show what the work situation is for the kids. I suppose it's difficult when I haven't 100% settled on what the job is. I was thinking, warehouse work, but I do have warehouse work already as a main occupation for the main character in my other dystopian story. So I will have to think more on that. And another one I have in my dystopian story is being on the cleaning crews. So probably won't go with that here either. I've already covered a lot of jobs in my other dystopian story that'll probably pop up a lot as being the main jobs for, most people in dystopian worlds. Oh dear. Well, I will think on it, but maybe I should just pick something to go with for now. Maybe instead of in the warehouse as such, in the loading bays for the trucks. I haven't really thought much about that, about the garages and the loading bays for all of the trade that happens between the cities. I'm not sure exactly what they're trading, given, they're cities in a canyon. There's rock, and there's whatever they can build themselves. So maybe each city has their own sort of specialty of technology, art, clothes, that sort of thing. I suppose it would be mostly trading for the sake of upper city folk, really. I suppose it would expose kids like Citra and Min to, if they see all of the nice stuff as they're packing it up, or, sneak looks at it. That could be fun. That could work. And it's, slightly different from warehouse work, such if they're in the garages and loading bays. I suppose if they're not working on loading stuff, they could always be, some of them could become mechanics and stuff for the trucks and drivers. Maybe all of them sort of funnel into this sort of work. That would explain. I thought Min and Liot's parents, I thought they were both truck drivers, and they were in that neighborhood. And they wound up getting paid fairly well for it. And I know none of these kids would have learnt these skills yet, but there is an exception to the upskilling, to the no upskilling rule after the age of 22. It's just if it is very specifically required for the job that you have been placed in, and this education is provided to you. Excuse me, muting to cough. I probably don't have to tell you that I'm muting to cough, but oh dear. Technically I've still only just started streaming. I haven't even been going a full month yet, so I will have lots of time yet to improve, figure out tricks. I'm actually quite looking forward to November being over, because I have lots and lots of other ideas I'd like to try. Definitely wouldn't be able to get to most of them for a little while, but will give me, more time to think about that. I'd even like to do the occasional non-stream video. Yes, I've rather shied away from the idea for quite some time, given my video editing skills are severely lacking. I suppose that is one of the attractions of streaming, that there is no video editing. But I have thoughts. I have many thoughts. All of these more sort of exciting ideas I have, all related to writing. I will settle into doing a few more what's the word I'm looking for? VTuber basics? VTuber staples, that's the word I'm looking for, staples. So I'll give a few games a go, which should be fun, given how terrible I am at games. I was wanting to do reading streams, probably starting off with public domain works, but I'd really like to, once I work up, perhaps enough of a following and enough confidence to approach independent authors, either, releasing independently in book form, or else, for instance, Wattpad writers or Inkit writers, or any writer who releases their things independently, however they go about that, and approach them about potentially reading a few chapters of their books on stream. Even better would be if the authors would like to join me and we can have a sort of commentary discussion as we're reading about not only the story but the writing process. Could be lots of fun. And once I eventually release works, I would like to read them on stream as well with an author's commentary going on. Yes, that will load me up with content every time I release a book. Okay, focus. We can do that. I can focus. Watch me go. Okay, so kids in this neighborhood funnels into, oh dear, 1L. 1L and no U. That's right, isn't it? 1L and no U. Oh dear. And garage work. I don't want to go right into the descriptions first. I want to start with maybe Citra making some sort of comment, and then can into garage work. So there's freight. And there's freight to load. Most of them put on loading the trucks. And no freight to load. Load. Spread out across various job assignments. You know, some already more permanently assigned to a role, others still floating. So Citra's probably been put on a fairly... And I said she was... I don't remember if I said she was in a supervisory capacity or if she'd just been promoted. So possibly she's already been promoted to quite a good job in the garages, but she's about to be, you know, moved up in the city. And so possibly we can have her, her mentor sort of lamenting losing her. Yeah. I mean, Citra's not really on the good side of many adults, but I kind of like the idea that she and her work mentor do get on. You know, it just means, I guess, they probably share quite a few ideals. They've got no real reason to clash apart from fun, silly stuff. The only way that Citra and Min clash. Did I wind up putting that line all the way up here? About how, you know, they have big opinions on things that don't really matter. Yes, that's right there. Okay. I'm just going to grab a drink of water, sorry. Oh dear. I mention a little further down that school teachers present as supervisors for the kids. Possibly some minor, you know, not physical clashes, but there's minor conflict between the teachers generally, you know, higher ranking in the city, and the garage workers. Maybe just a bit of snark. A bit of snark from maybe Citra's mentor to teacher. Citra tells off mentor, you know, he's pretty cool. And then just, you know, because I suppose that's a good tactic from the upper city to keep the lower cities from, oh, wrong word, upper and inner, keep the inner city from ever sort of wanting or thinking about rebelling against them, is to just keep them at each other's throats. I think that's probably a tactic that's employed a lot. If there's anything that stops useful things from getting done, it's squabbles. maybe have some. It's blowing off steam. All of these teachers are pretty good teachers, aren't they? I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Hmm. Oh dear, just need to fill in a bit more up here. Just a few examples of jobs. You've got a thing about mechanics as well. One of the main characters in the short story novella series that I may or may not be able to release here under my Blue Moony name. He's a really good mechanic. You know, he's pretty good. He just likes machines, so he's pretty good at messing around with, you know, bikes and cars, but also with, you know, phones and such. He likes machines. And my main magical project, I think I was originally going to have Kaz as trying to have completed mechanics apprenticeship, but yeah, I changed that. He was trying to complete a car detailing or a vehicle detailing apprenticeship instead, just to, you know, not make every character I love a mechanic. I've got plenty that aren't mechanics. It does tend to pop up a bit in my writing. Well, I won't have Seacher mechanics, so mechanics, learning to drive. Oh dear, I can't really drive a truck around there. Maybe they just have small training vehicles that they have a bit of space. So as for where the garages are, I'm guessing they're actually, you know, hollowed out of the cliffs. And, you know, there's tunnels leading down to the road. That's what makes the most sense to me. Don't know where to pop that. That's best. More water while I'm thinking. Will it help? Who knows? Okay. Probably people more on like inventory jobs. Inventory and administration in the garages. I'm sure there's lots of others. I don't need to put them all down, just a few examples. Probably say Citra's. Not already, so placed an admin role years ago. admin role, or just... No, not admin role, just sort of training to sort of manage the whole garages, maybe. I suppose I'm just a little worried I'm dividing up the work in quite a similar way to I have in my other dystopian story, but hopefully the premises are different enough that it doesn't really matter. Oh well. I mean, honestly, at this point, if I could only keep this style of dividing up the work in one of the stories, I'd probably keep it in the other dystopian story, because that's one I've been working on for years and years and years, and I'm very, very attached to. So if I have to, I'll think of a different way for things to work here, but I'll keep this for now. Men would probably be on permanent scrubbing duties, either floor, trucks, whatever. Except for when there's loading to be done, and there is loading at the moment. Cetra's even helping with the loading, even though manager probably says she doesn't have to. Yeah, just have him sort of floating nearby and whinging a bit. Cedra can say, what do you think? And then here we can go very briefly into what was I calling it? I was calling it the Crimson City at the most. So original of me. Oh dear, I kind of want to make a list of city names. I am definitely procrastinating doing this, but let's just fold these up for a sec. Let's go to my to add throughout. So we can keep these in my word count. Last comment is wasps in the canyon? Question mark. Pausing to mute. No, not pausing. Muting. Pausing to mute. Muting to cough. That's what I meant to say. Oh dear. So, working city names. The Crimson City. The Another Colour City. The Another Colour City. Or was I thinking, pretentious colour names? No, Crimson's not wholly pretentious, but not just the Red City or the Blue City. They need to be fancier, prettier. wonder what I get if I look up pretentious colours. Oh, what's this? The palette of pretension. Cerulean, chartreuse. We have vermilion as more of the red, maybe Vermilion City. What colour is vermilion? Is it more red than pink? It is sort of an orange? Oh, brilliant red. Yeah, Vermilion City, that's better. The Vermilion City. I prefer the sound of Crimson City, but it doesn't really matter what I want. Vermilion City sounds more pretentious, so that's what we're going to go with. Please, mouse, be kind to me. The Vermilion City. What were the other ones? Cerulean. I'm not making fun of these colours too much. Apologies to everyone who loves vermilion and cerulean. I'm just having a little fun. The Cerulean City. Ooh, green, Viridian. But does Viridian sound too close to vermilion? Dear. Heliotrope. Celadon. Chartreuse is a bit bright for me. Vermilion, cerulean were good. Puce? Not puce. Whoop, whoop. Saffron. Saffron will work. Which green do we want? I kind of want Viridian, but just where it sounds too much like vermilion. So should it be crimson and Viridian? Or these are just working names anyway. Saffron. The Boo City and the Boo City. So, need a green. Do we want Viridian, Celadon? We just look up fancy green colours. Fancy green. Not emerald. Not sage. This is Celadon. And these also, all Pokemon City names too. Shades of green. Let's have a quick look. Green, no. Avocado, no. Celadon, such as cyan. We've already got cerulean. I know cyan's more teal, but browsing greens. Browsing greens. At the moment it's still between Viridian and Celadon. I suppose it doesn't matter if... Except in this language we don't really have a V sound, but it's not like they'd be saying vermilion in their language anyway. It'd be whatever vermilion is in their language, so it shouldn't matter anyway. I'll just... Okay. And I can't even spell it. Well, that's not right. Let's go back this way. Back to the pretentious colours. Sorry. I know I'm procrastinating. slash no, Celadon, whichever we wind up going with. Or another green. Let's spell Celadon right. There we go. So I've got a red, blue, yellow, green. Red, blue, yellow, green. What should our last colour be? Purple, pinky. Oh dear. Just browsing a little bit more. Yeah. Colour names. Well, either saffron or sienna. Probably not both saffron, sienna. Saffron's probably, I mean, I like the word sienna, but I think saffron probably looks a bit better. Probably a purpley, pinky colour of some point. Heliotrope or fuchsia? I'll go with heliotrope for now. Oh wait, no, fuchsia. Fuchsia City sounds better than Heliotrope City, I think. That will do for now, probably. So they are in the main city at the beginning is the Vermilion City. And I'll probably have the city that they wind up in at the end to be the Cerulean City. Just for fun. Okay. Let's get the notes we need back up. So if we want each of the cities to, you know, have a few specialties, like, I don't know, maybe one of the cities is a lot more famous for clothes and another city more famous for electronics. Just haven't decided which is which yet. I don't know. Another one of the cities maybe having a lot more emphasis on farming and more interesting, managed to grow a wider range of food. I mean, you know, I was sort of in the way of thinking that there's probably not a massive variety of food here, but the trick is with the upper city, you know, they've done all the research and they've made breakthroughs in, you know, making things taste the way you like things to taste. And so, you know, even if the food itself, the food that the upper city and the inner city are eating isn't, you know, hugely different, still prepared better in the upper city, you know, they can, but in the upper city they can use, you know, drugs and tricks to flavor adjust and such. Haven't decided yet, so just make a TK note. I can't really call one, I guess. I think I'll have to think of a different shade of green. I think both Celadon and Viridian are taken by Pokemon. Wait, Saffron is too, isn't it? Dang. I'll figure out some other things. I know they They are not the only ones who are allowed to use these names, but they're, those names are a little bit synonymous with Pokemon, so maybe not. Vermilion still works, I think. I hope. Unless there's a Vermilion City that I just don't know. I'm sure we can find more pretentious colour names to use. I mean, I suppose that the big ones we need are the city they're in now, the Vermilion City, which is hopefully okay to use, and the Cerulean City. I suppose there's also, each city might have a dominant crop and they trade those. That would make sense too. With her? Still letting off a bit of steam from tests. Bit unruly. Teachers keeping close by. Occasional warnings, etc. What would the snark from Citrus meant to be when the teachers, calling for some kids to stop running with the merchandise, I guess. What are you snarky about? What the snark? I can't think of it right now. Might be able to think of it better once I've got this mentor's voice down pat a bit more. Okay, that's probably all we need to see of work, really. Men torn between, oh no, you shouldn't really do that, and ooh, so pretty. Citra just, enjoying the show. Yeah, I'm not sure she's garage manager material. Possibly, mentor comment to Citra. Start laughing, will help. Yes, I'm not. Oh dear, that's probably going to be a lot longer than I meant, but that's okay. I need to keep saying that's okay, because it is all okay. It's my story. It's not like I'm going to be trying to show it to agents, so... yeah. I can still do what I want. For now. Oh, how are we doing? Word-wise. Whoops. 15,717. Let's do that. 15,717. Update progress. We are on 858 words today. I'd still like to hit par. We've got plenty of time and still the rest of the chapter to finish, so let's keep aiming for that. So straight into more Sitra dialogue. I remember saying yesterday that I wanted to get my language name generator going, but I forget who I wanted to generate a name for. Oh, I think it might have been the teacher. Yes, teacher needs a lovely name, and I don't think any of the ones I've generated yet does him justice, so we'll find him a lovely, lovely name. Okay, so into more teacher dialogue. Just had a thought. Why would Min be sneaking into the library at that time when she can probably just borrow the books? I need to make that work. Well, maybe it's still, there are books in that library, but they're ones that she's not supposed to be reading, and, I will make that work. That's really obvious. Why didn't I think of that days ago? Oh well, that's why a first draft is a first draft. And why I probably wouldn't be very good at, just writing one chapter and then releasing it, then writing another chapter and releasing it. There's so many things I would miss. I mean, I know we can go back and change things when it's released online, but I think I would be most aggravated with myself. So I'd much prefer to have, if not an entire book, at least half of it written out, completely, and me be happy with it before I start posting it, and then hopefully I'd be able to get most of the rest done before I start posting that. But no, for my main magical project that I've been working on for so long, I think I need the first book done and good to go and happy before I start posting it. And then hopefully as it's being posted I'll have enough time to pull book 2, maybe even book 3 together. So I'm really hoping they're not going to take nearly the amount of time that book 1 took. This series was originally based on my only real fic. And yes, I only used the first 3 chapters of the fic, and then the rest is new material for book 1. And so books 2, 3, 4, and 5 will both be using a lot more of the fic content. I'll still be writing a fair amount of new material and needing to adjust what came from the fic an awful lot, but I'm still hopeful it won't take, it's not going to take 4 years this time. Oh dear, I keep distracting myself. Oh dear. I think I just have to pop out briefly again. I'm so sorry. I will be right back. Thank you so much for waiting, and sorry again. back now. Sorry about that. Okay, let's dive in. I still think we've got a very good chance of finishing getting everything for chapter 3 down. Just gotta keep moving. Just gotta keep moving. Really not that so. Me and okay, other kids' names. TK kid name. I don't think these kids would be doing it for the fate anymore, just for, you know, clout, maybe, or just for the adrenaline boosts, or whatever. Reckons he can, get all the way out to blah blah. Need to figure out how the obstacles work. Possibly, it's gonna be hilarious. Did you want to come? We've gotten past. I'm not sure I fully described the cliff stuff earlier with the teacher, so possibly. And joint reason for having these is, just showing the disregard from the upper city for inner city kids. Like, this is one of the only ways they can, reliably raise their fate, is by risking their lives on stupid stunts. But, it's just sort of become a thing in the neighborhoods. It's, what kids do in their spare time is take these stupid risks. If not watching Chosen Ones taking risks to impress friends and agitate rivals, constant bets and challenges. Oh dear. That is something that leads into, gambling on chosen events, etc. Imagine the upper city would very much like the inner city spending a lot of money on gambling, because they would probably benefit a lot from it, because they own all of it. Yes, I might wind up shifting this to teacher conversation. better way to describe it. Just a heh. Drop smile. I'll think of better words to describe it, but just to get the sentiment that I'm aiming for across for now. Oh, I missed a few things that I wanted up in the work scene. Gossip going around the garage. Workers, not the kids, but the older workers, the full-time workers. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Sure, I'm going to save a treat for her. Grand's promised. So I have Min trying to steal a bite of a treat, but that doesn't really seem like a thing Min would do. She'd want to wait. Maybe it's Grands who starts eating them and Min's, tries to get Grands to wait. It seems like a more Min thing to do. Honestly, she's a little bit of a goody two-shoes. That's okay. I think I kind of like having her a goody two-shoes and then putting her in this situation, like being, what's the word? I don't know. Touted as, equivalent of the Antichrist sort of thing. Okay. Hurry home. Worry that Leot needs, needs support. Wouldn't phrase like that. Needs her. Or just needs to talk or something. Vent. To recover from the day. I kind of want Grants to do something silly as the door opens. Like, I was thinking maybe some kind of confetti. What would they use for confetti? Or, put up some kind of decoration or something. Some of the few things that they put up for celebrations. I don't know, maybe the streamers that they sometimes put outside the house for festival days, like that. only thing I think of right now is brownies or something like that. State. Impressive odds. I won. Suddenly so much lighter. Quite a large number, not a ridiculous amount like a lotto win or anything, but a big number. But to Min, it's still like all our troubles are suddenly over. I read that some people doing nano, help pad out their word counts a bit by going into hyper detail describing the food. I don't think that's padding anything out at all. I usually go into hyper detail describing food. I think that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do, nano or not. I just still haven't settled on exactly what the food's like here, and I'd prefer to be able to sit down and work on that to my lazy heart's content and take all of the time I need to get the lovely food scenes right. Oh dear, looked at my word count. Let's update that. 16,129. 16,129. 16:129. Update. So we're at 1,270 words today. Still plenty of time to hit par and finish the chapter. Okay, this can be done. Well, should it be, Grans isn't really hesitant about asking about Min's test, maybe because there's so much good luck. Grans is just sort of thinking they're on a bit of a good luck roll, and that Min, did enough to stay, at least. Grans insists Min chooses a video. Picks a favourite Trouse concert. This is the first time that we'd, maybe see that it's not just sports that the chosen ones compete in. It's pretty much most things that can be, most things that could entertain an audience. Probably not everything is contest. Probably people would have, concerts and exhibition events and stuff. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Another kinder way to phrase this is, there's no real denying the truth. Liot doesn't have friends. He has his sister's best friend, and Grans. Yeah. Possibly there's a few kids that he talks to a little more easily than others, but nothing really more than acquaintances. few things I forgot. Here. I'm not sure whether to actually make the mention of unsanctioned skilling. And I suppose I have to put it somewhere before we hear that that's, the excuse they have to arrest Grands. If it's just reading, I suppose I can, demonstrate it is a risk that Minna's been taking doing what she's doing. I just really have to figure out how to make that work, but she could have just borrowed the books. I do want it to be just the local library that she's going to. Well, I don't know, maybe it's the excuse that the actual process of going to the library when she maybe shouldn't be is also hoping to raise her fate somehow, but Citra's saying, yeah, nah, it's not. I'll think it through more. It's also Min trying to make these plans to raise her fate, and she's a little bit desperate. Will do anything that could work without taking a horrific risk, really. I think probably the best place to watch the TV is at the dining table. The only other chairs would be Grand's chair. Mouse, please listen to me. Thank you. Maybe, as watching in spots the book, so that can mix things up a bit, make it easier. I need a term for, messaging or alerting someone on the tech, if you find him. There's a TechPad thing. Thinking ping me, but don't want to use ping. Be called a poke, a prod, zap will do. Zap will do. She's reasonably sensible. I think she'd remember to grab her coat. It's going to be getting, the temperature will be dropping fast outside. Well, outside the apartment. She grabbed Leot's too. Doing in her house. You mind, I think it's probably an apartment roughly the same as Min's, and there's a lot more people in it. Just hear them inside. And maybe it's about to bang on the door. Bursts open. Feature with towel and a little case of toiletries headed for the shared shower. Book on Min's face. Instantly stops. What's wrong? Leot didn't come home. Which, tosses her stuff back inside. Joins Min. Min tells her to grab her coat. Citra. Huff. But they're so... I'm hoping when I actually pull the story together, it could even shorten it a little bit. This is, when I pull it together, it'll flow a lot better. Would she shout that she's going out, or would she shout that Leot's missing? Who else is in the family? She's got 2 older siblings who are both working full-time. two parents, possibly a grandparent there as well. I suppose that would get more people out looking. That seems more likely. Yeah, that Citra would instantly, find a way to increase the odds of finding Liot quickly, so getting her family on board. Oh dear, YouTube not currently receiving data for this stream, so we're probably hitting some buffering. Oh dear, how's it going? Mouse Y. Oh, excellent. Excellent stream health. Okay. We're approaching the end of the chapter. Like I don't really want to spend too much time on the search. Yes, there'd be the concern that he doesn't come home before all the lights turn off. Because maybe there's just an hour left to go. No, it wouldn't be an hour left to go. It'd be more time than that, just, concerned he wouldn't get home before then. No worrying. The whole family, 2 older siblings, 2 parents, 1 creaky grandparent who goes to join friends. Possibly that's the friend that Grans went to cook the brownie with. Excuse me, sorry. I just need to comment that, leaving the cold feast behind. Oh dear. Min and Citra probably take charge with this. I mean, Liot and those kids would be in the garages as well, but I suppose, they're brand new. They wouldn't be doing anything important yet. Wherever the 12-year-olds hang out. Which would be the cliffs, and there'd also be the cliffs, there'd be the public space. There's probably also somewhere else that the 12-year-olds tend to hang out. Well, they're not going to go to the public space yet, because that's got to be right at the end of the chapter. Yes. Maybe there's a particular food shop, like a bakery or something. Well, there's probably a tavern equivalent for kids, like a milk bar of some sort, I guess. There's no reason not to call it a milk bar, I guess. Snack bar will probably do. And some acquaintances at the snack bar. Oh, not at the snack bar, but maybe near the snack bar. Maybe stilts. I mean, still seems more likely most games that kids play here would have some, some measure of danger attached. So slightly dangerous games like stilts and, I don't know, things to do with fire, maybe. I'm not here he's missing, but a mention of Liot. It wouldn't be Cindy. Exchange glances. That's the term I'm looking for. I'm guessing how many people actually call. It's mostly just, zaps. Maybe Seach is less distressed. She's already sort of figured out what's happened, because she probably, Min's a bit distracted to remember this, but she probably remembers what happened with Cesar. It's probably exactly this that, didn't Oh no, they would have called it out because, it wasn't ridiculously high the way Leot's is. She would have been chosen, there would have been congratulations, and there would have been... Oh no, they probably wouldn't have brought a whole patrol. But this is just because Leot's a particular situation. Maybe Citra, worry fading but looks grim and asks. Pretty good guess. Maybe Citra says, let's get to the public space. I should think of a name for the public space, probably. Windsweep's not quite the word I'm looking at, but head everywhere sort of thing. Yes, let's go there. Let's check there. Okay, I think I'd originally had notes of people congratulating them, but I don't think anyone knows yet. The moment he first appears on the TV is when everyone will know what happened. Oh dear. Word count. We're almost there. Almost at the end of chapter 3, but let's do this anyway. 16,749. 16,749. 16,749. Update. Okay, we're at 1890 today. Oh, just let me bring us across. Here we are. Look at this lovely line, happily sitting just above it here. Oh dear, what's my average? Oh, an average over 2,000 a day. But, wouldn't be nearly that many if I was, slogging through trying to pull it all together as I go. I suppose there's the option if I hit 50,000 early, I can always go back and start pulling it together like this, but that'll probably lose me words. That's, words per minute not accurate. That's just from the one time I put in the number of words typed within an hour. Definitely not accurate. Yes. So that's over par, which is well more than I needed to do. So we'll just get to the end of the chapter as planned. Hurrying there, foot traffic thickening, many people headed in the same direction, loud, excited chatter. Well, they slow with the traffic, then realise, oh yeah, it's time to meet the new chosen ones. Wonder if anyone's joined Trouse's cohort. Then Citra. Right. She doesn't get hugely sidetracked from wondering about Leot, thinking about Trouse. It's just, dimly realizing this is happening and just, probably on automatic. Has anyone joined Trouse's cohort? I think it just doesn't even occur to her that Liot could have been chosen. And I suppose Citra hasn't said it yet because, she's not sure. She doesn't want to, upset Min even more if it's not true. Very crowded. Nowhere to stand. Guess the big events lots of people like to watch together. Almost there. Crowded, almost nowhere to stand. Over here, Citra motions and over to one of the steel ladders bolted to the wall. She already swings up and starts shimmying up to, what am I calling him? Mezzanine platforms. Hesitate a moment and follows. Yes, just because she's not physically gifted, she doesn't really go up there much. More slowly. Eyes on her feet, making sure she doesn't slip. Slightly dizzy, maybe, looking at the yelling crowd below. Yeah. Thankfully, Citra's hand out to pull her up, steadies her. It's crowded up here, uninterrupted view of the screen. Okay. Oh dear, they probably do start with the 12-year-olds because it's the only new cohort each year. And each other cohort is added onto as new chosen ones come in. So yeah, so we can start with the opening to the show, whatever. What's the word? Opening graphics and starting out with hosts jabbering about the day and whatnot. So we can start with that. We can start the show. I'll figure out what the voiceover is properly once I figure out what to call this day. It'll be something very, very pompous, very grandiose. As is so with most Chosen One events, as we will soon start to see from Chapter 4 onwards. Poor Liot, he does not want to be there. Show starting, opening graphics for the day, and voiceover. Okay. Someone below, yelling, voice booming over the max volume. Everyone to shut up. It's starting. We noticed. Sorry. I like crowd talk. It's fun. Okay, so keep it as close to Min and Citra as possible. Okay. Citra watching to the hosts. Brief conversation about, very exciting day. Big new additions to Blah cohorts. And, her tell something really special right off the bat with our brand new cohort. Very hush-hush. Even we don't know exactly what's happening, but we're very excited, aren't we? Blah, blah, blah. All that sort of stuff. And probably break away to, brief exchange between in and suture. Maybe, or if not, overhearing some talk. What do they mean? Hush, hush. Don't remember, ever talking like that before. What's going on? Okay, and so missed a bit of the jabber on the screen. Which probably, where are the hosts? We can have a brief description of the hosts, because this is probably the first time we get to see really quite over-the-top chosen ones. So the best ways to show that is attitude and, wardrobe choices. So have some fun with details. And of course, as always, I'm going to be going into that as I'm pulling this all together at the end. Not at the end of Nano, of course. I think I'll be lucky to make it a quarter of the way through this story, writing in this very haphazard style. But of course, it's not going to stay like this when I eventually, do first draft part 2. I'm going to need to take my time to slowly pull things together. I've said it that many times, but this is just how I write. This is how I'm happiest writing, is just going all out with as detailed notes as possible, and then taking all the time I need to thread everything together exactly how I want it to be. This stops me getting frustrated from trying to write, in readable sentences right from the beginning. I get so frustrated when it doesn't come out how I want it. And that slows me down, it demotivates me, get bogged down in all of this. So this is what mostly works for me. The only downside is the actual threading and pulling everything together takes a really, really long time. It's taken me years and years to do other things just because of how I write best. But I think it's worth it. It's frustrating, but I can't produce wonderful work on the first pass. I need time and space. My work needs to, age, ferment, cheese and wine style sort of thing. Oh, there's one of my stories in particular. I am so glad I didn't manage to get it published 10 years ago, because it has not reached its final form yet. And I love it so much more now than I ever did 10 years ago. And it is so much better now. It needed the time. I'm glad I gave it the time. It's just still frustrating that it's not done and nothing is done. And this story probably won't be done for a couple of years after Nano. But it's okay. It's started. It's moving. I know the story. It will happen. But, sadly, I think some other stories may have to take priority again once Nano's done. I miss my main magical project so much. I want to write it so badly. And I want to write my shifter story so badly, and I haven't wanted to write it this badly in years. And it's just because I'm not allowed to write it right now, because it's NaNoWriMo and I have another new project. Oh dear. I suppose I could have chosen to be a Nano rebel and work on an old project, but I'm just not really as comfortable with the idea of working on something live that's been mined for so long. I just feel uneasy and awkward about trying to do that, so I thought a new project was the best way to go. So that's what we got. Oh dear, 15 minutes to midnight. Let's see if we should be able to finish this finish chapter 3. We only need a tiny bit more. We're not going to go through the whole program. We just need the very beginning, because that's when the 12-year-olds are trotted out. That's when we'll see Liot, and that's when, the city goes nuts. Jabber on the screen. Okay. Here. And we can do the stereotypical touching ear, receiving information. We're hearing now. Brand new cohort. Ready. Are you ready to meet them? Remembering as well, the majority of each cohort are the children of already existing chosen ones, so they didn't have to go through all the tarot tests and everything, even if their fate levels are quite low, given all the attention they're going to be given and all the opportunities. Generally, by the time they're 16 or so, their fates, it's way up there. Inner city folk don't get that chance. They got to be way up there to begin with. To meet them. Crowd in the public space yelling, "Yes!" And, along with crowd on TV, also hear crowds and people in their apartments nearby joining in the yell too. Sucho looking even more grim. She's got it all figured out. Min, not so much. Okay, so... They'd introduce Liot last, wouldn't they? They'd have the cohort brought out initially. Possibly read through the names and then bring Liot afterwards, because he's the big deal. And we know we have to put as much attention and emphasis on him as possible, because he will hate it so much. And as you know, I have to make my darling characters suffer, because it's fun. And, it's probably what would happen in this situation anyway. He's a big deal. I'll go into a bit more lavish detail with a bit of the setting. So, description of lavish setting, etc. as, new cohort files out to triumphant music, DC. Probably just before that, they'd be, introduced by the cohorts. Really chosen name. I don't know how I'm naming the cohorts yet. I'll figure that out. There's a lot I'll have to figure out later, but that's okay. That's okay. This is first draft part 1, after all. It's completely overloaded with notes. I think I'm definitely going to be dividing each chapter I've written so far in two, and doing 2 chapters with Min, 2 chapters with Liot. Just need to figure out how to work chapter 2 with that, because, chapter 2 is currently at a good length for one chapter, as opposed to chapters 1 and 3. Okay. I'd originally had the cohorts as almost 100 kids, but I don't think it'd be nearly that many yet. The cohorts would get bigger and bigger each year. And, the huge influx of chosens at ages 14 and 16. And then, just a trickle for the next few years. So, keep it fairly low. I suppose I had it quite high because I figured, there'd be quite a lot of children of chosen ones. But maybe we just keep this year a bit smaller. Just so, we can call out everyone's name, I guess. I suppose it feels a little silly to call out everyone's name. We just do a few and then just describe going along the next. That would be the sensible thing to do, so why don't we try that? Okay. All out and lined up. Hosts, please welcome, name. Probably do all the children of chosen ones first, and then, brief change and say here are the inner city ones, and then everyone in the inner city can get more excited, like these are their kids. Name. When their names are called, each kid, steps forward and acknowledges. Oh dear, there's an O in acknowledges, and the W and L don't go there. What are you talking about? And acknowledges the audience, with a wave, pose, a wink. These kids probably received some, coaching for this moment. The poor inner city kids wouldn't have, so they'd be pretty shy, probably. Finished going through the children of chosen ones. I'm not sure how to introduce that, so, well, first up, I don't know, upper city recruits, that'll do. A lot more of them. Yes, how many? I don't want it to be too big because, there's a lot of kids from the children of chosen ones. It's the inner city ranks that grow each year. Still doesn't have to be too many. So maybe around 30 kids in there. Now, welcoming into upper city ranks, inner city recruits. Huge cheers from the public space. You see these ears ringing. Okay, not too many from the inner city, or maybe. Probably go through all of their names, because there won't be many. Maybe 7? Mirroring afterwards. Not many. Someone muttered that they raised the bar again or something. And then put here, much shyer. Acknowledging. One pale and shaking. Couldn't do a thing except look terrified. Maybe men, glad it's not Liot. Probably would have fainted. Mostly just awkward waves, probably. Awkward or chord waves. Okay. And now, something big this year. Bigger than big, PK note, all out, reality, live show, drama stuff. How to describe it? We have a new, I just want to say high score, but it's probably won't stick with that. This is a big deal. Surname. No one has surnames yet. Suture. Matter. Yeah. Haven't. Past. Briok. Briok, as we know, a fallen chosen one. Suture's favourite because he has integrity. Yes, I'm assuming Briok probably does have higher fate than Trouse, but it'd be pretty close. Be pretty close. Even more impressive. He's joining, you know, oh, that he's only 12, joining this very cohort. Even more exciting. In a city is one of yours. Yeah. Crowd explode with excitement. Who is it? Demanding of the hosts, etc. Okay, so what are we calling it? The Million City. I'll figure out. I'll make this work better. A grander introduction for the yacht. I want them to actually say his score. With a fate count of seriously impressive number. Haven't quite figured out what constitutes an impressive fate score. I think I'd originally said, just as a midichlorian joke, 20,000 to become a chosen one, but might wind up changing that. I think that's a little too high for number of fate particles in a cell. You know, big deal, over the top. Here he is, the one, the only, blah blah blah, Liot. Yay. Remember, no one from the inner city has surnames. They're just known by their neighborhoods, I'm pretty sure. And there's a special naming ceremony for chosen ones when they get gifted their surname, and it's something in relation to their talents or their circumstances. Liot's will probably be in relation to his ridiculously high fate as opposed to anything he's particularly good at, given, you know, the poor kid's not really particularly good at anything except finances. Probability. Playing cards. You know. Should probably mention at one point from Grands, probably something for chapter 2 actually. It's such a waste how good Liot is at cards, but he refuses to gamble. I'm just gonna toss that as a reminder for in chapter 2. Just throw it at the end. Find somewhere for Grand still lament Liot being so good at cards, but refuses to, you know, gamble. He's only 12, it's not like they'd let him into the taverns anyway. And freeze. Suture pulling a hand very tight. No. Crowd. Probably stops cheering. Disbelief. Yeah. That Vin's kid brother sort of thing. People looking to find Min. Oh, not noticing because it's from her point of view, so we've got to keep it what she can see. So barely noticing will do. Probably almost stumbles. I'm guessing it might have had to actually push him. Close up. Sound of collective jaw dropping. Oh, that's alright. I forgot to make it. Yeah, okay. What do I put? It's a past Trouse. Amusement. Okay, no, not only. It's past. There. Trouse. Highest count. Not only in our city. In the whole canyon since records began. We need him to be impressive. Because that way, then when we meet Nue and she's like got more than double the fake count that Liot's got, we know she's big then. Yes, these sweet kids. Way too much fate. You know, have to pity any poor kid who actually is a protagonist. Okay, so I think we've reached the end of chapter 3. We don't really need to go into anything else. Well, maybe with the kids coming up, we can go briefly with... And they've probably got them all dressed up. And they haven't gotten their cohort uniforms yet. But, they would have been dressed up. The kids of chosen ones would have had plenty of stuff, but probably would have been a few people who dressed up the inner city kids. Just need to... okay. Briefly describe how the kids lavishly dressed up. A few examples. I've been wondering, in bits and pieces how these cities get hold of a lot of the things they do, given post-apocalyptic world, given it is 400 years after that event and they've been, they were kind of thriving again. They did maintain a lot of the technology. It's just a matter of getting hold of enough materials that they can't actually get in the canyon. So I'm guessing there's just, still caves and caves loaded with scrap that people hauled with them when they were refugees or something, and working through that. And I know technically I don't need to think about it because it's not vital to the story, but it would frustrate me and annoy me if I didn't know how they were getting hold of all of this stuff. Possibly that can come out with Brioc. Brioc seems to know how everything works. In which case, I don't have to worry about it yet for about half a book. Oh dear. I do love Brioc as a character. It's a bit of a shame that he doesn't get to be in the book for longer, but there's plenty of references to him before we actually get to meet him. I've got references right at the beginning of this chapter, or 2 chapters, however it winds up being split up. I'll probably wind up, if I decide to split these chapters, I will probably wind up splitting this one right at the end of, right when Min's score is called out. That's a sort of cliffhangery moment to split it on. Oh dear. Hope it's not too odd doing, 2 from Min, then 2 from Liot, and so on. I'll make it work. Okay, we made it to the end of chapter 2, but I didn't record my word count before the end of the day for me. But that's okay, these words can just count towards the next day. I'd already passed par. It doesn't matter too much. So we're on 17,409. 17,409. 17,409. 17,409. Update. Let's have a look. Whoa, that's not right. That's not right, is it? I haven't done that many yet today. That's a mistake. Yes, there we go. That's better. Thank you. So quite a few words in today already, and having 2 writing sessions today. So I'll probably get quite a few words done. So, to chapter 4 tomorrow. I'm probably going to have a bit more trouble with that, given we're with Liot. We're with his first day, or first few days in the upper city. It's the first time we get to actually see the upper city. So, I won't be writing it in detail now, but I'll have to figure out kind of what I want to do and where it's going to go, at least, for describing his surroundings and such. But, poor Liot, for a while it's just an awful lot of things happening to him, and he can't really have any, agency. He's just, stumbling along, terrified and miserable and just wanting to go home. Poor baby. Okay, I should probably go and sleep in a minute. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. It's so lovely that you've been here and, stuck with me getting to the end of chapter 3 finally. What day are we on now? We're on day 9 of Nano. We only just finished chapter 3. I suppose it evens out to roughly 3 days per chapter, which isn't so bad, honestly. I just, I know this is my style of writing and I've kind of accepted that. I just wish I could do it faster. Just, existing in a constant state of running out of time, which can be quite overwhelming at times. And, makes me feel like I have to rush. But I can't rush, because when I rush, my writing is awful. Okay. Here are my lyrics. I'm sticking with singing the parting glass at the end of each stream. I'm still liking it as a thing for me to do, and still promising you that I will learn it properly after November. Still just sticking with the first few lines. Oh dear. Thank you so much again, and good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I hope the rest of your days are absolutely lovely, because that's what you deserve. Let's sing this thing. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be to you all. Until tomorrow.